everybody, Andy Hamilton of Trackwrestling here with three-time NCAA champion, two-time Hodge Trophy winner, Zain Retherford. We're talking dynasty duels today. Penn State 2017, going to be paired up with Iowa State's 1987 squad in the first round matchup. Zain, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's start with this. Tell us a little bit about your feelings heading into the 2017 season. You guys are coming off a national title. Jason Nolf, Bo Nickel, runner-up finishes as freshmen, coming back as sophomores. You're adding three dynamic freshmen to your lineup in Nick Suriano, Vincenzo Joseph, Mark Hall. What kind of vibe was there in the practice room leading into that season, and what did you think the team was capable of at that point?
So I think that year was very competitive amongst us. I think we were all made it a fun competition, but I think we were all kind of trying to outdo each other every match, every dual meet that happened that year. You had guys that were, I know that I was one of the first, so you mentioned that we had 5 guys win the NCAA tournament individually that year. Each dual meet being 149, I was the first guy in that to, get the team going, I guess. And so I know that if I didn't get a pin or a tech, I know that Nolf was going to, or, Mark Hall, Chenzo, or, Bo, they were all looking for bonus points. So it kind of lit me up. It got me excited to go out and compete with some fire and, always look for the pin. And it was just fun. I know we were all competing for each other, but, we were all kind of competing in a fun way.
Joseph Hall, Suriano, all of course went on to become national champions, but rewind to their first days on campus. All three, of course, come in with incredible high school credentials. But was there a moment early on when you know that these guys were going to be title threats right away?
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled with both of those guys, especially that year. Wrestled with Suriano a good bit, and I was like, wow, this is one of the strongest, guys I've wrestled, let alone 25-pounders. I know that he was stronger than most of the guys I wrestled at my weight class. And so right away I knew he was going to be a threat. And same with Chenzo. We wrestled each other at a freestyle tournament when he was coming into college. We were the same weight class, believe it or not. And we just wrestled each other, and it was, a tighter match. And he was just coming into college, already had, 2 years under my belt. So I knew he was also going to be a stud. And so, yeah, I was excited for those guys to get the opportunity to compete in college.
You bonus your way through the national tournament in 2016. You come back from that going into your junior year. What drives you to keep your foot on the pedal throughout that offseason?
Yeah, 2016 was awesome. It was my first national title I've won, and it was in Madison Square Garden, so it was a really cool place to win a national title. But that feeling kind of died, a few weeks afterward. And, even though it's something you dream of your whole life to that point, to be an NCAA champion, there's still got more college career left to wrestle. So that was kind of my thought process was, hey, everyone won. That was a lot of fun. This upcoming year is another opportunity to win a national title and just enjoy it. So, I think people get distracted by holding on to the past, and I kind of just let go of it, saw the next opportunity that was in front of me, and kind of attacked that.
Let's go through that season a little bit. You guys go 14-0 in dual meets. You won every duel by 11 points or more. You're cruising along, and then midway through the season, Mark Hall comes out of redshirt. What kind of juice did that give you guys as a lineup at that point?
Mark's another guy that, like I said, is real competitive and, wrestles hard. He's always looking to score bonus points. So, that obviously lit us up. We got another guy, in that group of, I guess I've mostly been speaking to the 5 of us in a row that won that year, but, the whole team in general that just kind of fueled the team to go out and score points. And we're really grateful that he was able to, pull his red shirt, wanted to pull his red shirt and compete that year.
We no longer have the national duels, but that year marked the last one. You guys went down to Oklahoma State. Nick Suriano goes down, injury default first match. Cade Brock wins by major in the second match. Jimmy Gilliban takes Dean Heil to the wire, but Oklahoma State wins that one. You step out there, you guys are down 13-0, 1 versus 2 against Anthony Colica. What do you remember about stepping out there in Gallagher Iba when you're down in that situation? You got to win a match to turn things around.
Yeah, I just remember the opportunity. My heart all of our hearts kind of broke for Nick Soriano that year when, your teammate goes out like that. Nick's a really tough kid, so kind of knew when he medically pulled, it was not something that was to be taken lightly, that it was a serious thing. And so, it sucked for him. I was really trying to feel sympathetic, but also you got to be in the mindset that, I'm going to be up soon and I got to wrestle. So, that was tough for sure. I remember feeling for him, and then just keeping things in perspective with the match. I wrestled a tight match with Colica. It's a tough place to wrestle for sure. They had packed that place, Gallagher, and it was awesome. They were all booing us the whole time. I know for a fact. I remember that vividly, and kind of felt like Carver Hawkeye in some ways that way, if you ever competed there. But you can look at that as, you can either be inspired by that, or you can let that tear you down as you're out there. And I choose to let that motivate me. So I think the rest of our team did that, and we were able to come away with the win.
Fast forward a couple weeks, you guys go out to Bloomington, Indiana for the Big Ten Championships, and Ohio State has a great tournament. They win some key head-to-heads in that tournament, and they come away with conference tournament title. First time that you guys had tasted defeat that season. What's said after that tournament that allows you guys to regroup going into the NCAA championships?
Just keeping things in perspective that, there was, obviously you always want to win every competition that you're competing in, but, we still, 2 weeks later, you still get the opportunity to compete for a national title. It doesn't really matter what happened at the Big Ten championships. It's a great tournament to win, but it's not what we trained for. To be honest, we trained for, and I think everyone would agree that you trained for the NCAA tournament. And so even though we lost, and some guys wrestled well, some guys didn't, but also just keeping in perspective that, hey, we still got a great opportunity in front of us in 2 weeks. This is what we train for year round. Doesn't really matter what just happened. Just keeping our eyes set on that, and that opportunity is still there.
As for yourself, you pinned or teched your way through that entire postseason. How did you get yourself primed to wrestle so well in March?
Yeah, it's just having confidence in your training and your coaches, and and in yourself. Just knowing that that you're ready. I think that's what's really important. I think is highly overlooked is just being ready year round. The fact that you want to technically feel your best in March, but it's hard to do, and sometimes you're not going to feel your best. And just being in August, being ready. Say the national tournament was tomorrow, you'd be ready to go. And so I think that confidence for me was really important. There would be months in the summertime where I was like, I couldn't wait for the NCAA tournament. It was only July, because I knew that if it was tomorrow, I would be ready to go. And so just doing that day after day, I think that prepares you for when the time comes. And even if you're not feeling your best, you can convince yourself that you're feeling your best. Let it rip.
As you mentioned, you guys won 5 individual national titles in 2017. You sweep from 49 to 84. What do you remember about that week in St. Louis? What are the most vivid recollections you have of that tournament?
I remember just being loose. I think I had a lot of the Big Ten tournament. I remember feeling like I didn't compete as freely as I wanted to, for whatever reason. And I remember watching the movie Braveheart. It's a movie I really like, and I watched that right before the national tournament. There's like a quote in there where they're about to go to battle, and Sir William Wallace says, he's like, you can take our enemies, can take our lives, but they can't take our freedom. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I guess it's not life or death in wrestling, but you win and you lose. There's always a winner and a loser, and so I'd rather lose out there than my opponent take my freedom to compete and score points the way that I wanted to. So kind of just, that was my thought process. I actually brought that. I usually don't speak to the team, but I kind of just showed them that video before the NCAA tournament started right after Big Tens. Just said like, hey, this kind of lit me up and just be inspired by this opportunity, and don't let, no matter what happens out there, I'm not going to let my opponent take my freedom to compete the way that I wanted to. So that was my mindset.
I'll wrap it up with this one. You guys went 36-5 in individual matches in that tournament. You're part of 4 championship teams there at Penn State. We're doing this for the dynasty duels. If there was a Penn State version of the dynasty duels, which team prevails in that one?
Oh man, I have no idea. I don't know. There's a lot of history of wrestling at Penn State. There's been a lot of greats, and I don't know how you would even do that. Honestly, there's so many different skill sets. Even before, I got to college. There's guys like Quentin Wright. Ed Ruth was a guy I was able to compete with for one season. David Taylor was another guy who my true freshman year was on. He was a senior. So there's a lot of, and there's plenty more. Kerry McCoy was just up. He won a Hodge Trophy for Penn State. A lot of individuals. I'm sure there's a lot of good teams back in the day. So I don't know how you can compare that, but just grateful to be a part of such a legacy at Penn State.
Hey, Zane, great stuff. Thanks so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.